Today on the Wilt Fong Whip Around with Steve Wilt Fong, we're going to go behind the scenes of a few of the biggest recruiting weekends in the country. We're talking Florida, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, and more. It's time to lock in. You guys hit subscribe to the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube, the Rivals YouTube channel. All right, let's bring in national analyst Steve Wilt Fong, and we got to start in Gainesville. That's where Jalen Brewster is going to be. The #1 recruit in America is committed to Texas Tech. But Steve, I feel like this is his third visit to Florida in just the last couple months.
It is, Josh. Look how comfortable you look in the new Rivals On 3 studio. That's how comfortable Jalen Brewster is inside the swamp on the Gainesville campus. His third visit. He was there in the spring for the first practice they put pads on in the Coach Sumrall era. He returned for the spring game. Now he's coming in for an official visit. He's been committed to Texas Tech since October 4th. I view the Gators as the biggest threat to the Red Raiders. I still think it'll take a lot to flip Jalen Brewster from Texas Tech. And Texas Tech's going to get the last official visit the weekend of June 19th. But Florida continues to give Jalen Brewster and his family a lot to think about. And coming out of last weekend's Texas official visit, for the first time, the Brewster family, Robert, the father, told me everybody is equal. And so Texas, Indiana, SMU, LSU, some of the other programs shooting a shot. But I think Florida has impressed, getting him there a third time. He's seen him practice. He's gotten around the guys, the players, the coaching staff. And we know that Florida is relentless here as they try and add Jalen Brewster to a class that currently ranks number 5 nationally.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you on Monday and see what you are hearing coming out of this one. The Gators are getting interesting. Let's talk about another 5-star flip target, Easton Royal, the top wide receiver committed to Texas. He's from the state of Louisiana, made that early commitment to Texas. I mean, he's been taking some visits, but not a ton, and the Gators seem like they got a real foot in the door here, Steve.
There are some that think that Florida is the biggest challenger to Texas and not LSU. We'll ultimately see, because I think there's a lot of confidence around Baton Rouge that they can ultimately get it done for Easton Royal as well. But we know that Florida is in the thick of it. He also visited earlier in the spring and gushed about the changes he saw from the prior regime to the Coach Sumrall era, the intensity and the exciting offense. And he thinks that this is a program where he could make a lot of plays down the road. And Florida checks a lot of boxes for Easton Royal off the field as well. So this is another notable trip and not just a free surf and turf, enjoy my process visit. He is really looking at the Florida Gators.
All right. Steve, last weekend, 5-star wide receiver Eric McFarland III was on campus as well. So the Gators are clearly taking some huge swings at some of the best prospects in America. Where do you think the Gators sit with McFarland?
Well, I view them as maybe the number 2 position school behind Texas A&M. But one thing's clear under this new Florida coaching staff: doesn't matter the side of the ball, doesn't matter the position room. They're going after the best players in the country, and they're looking to put Florida back in the national title conversation sooner rather than later.
All right, Steve, massive weekend, but who else are you keeping an eye on in Gainesville this weekend?
Well, let's see if 4-star cornerback Raheem Floyd shows up on the heels of an official visit to Missouri. We liked Florida's position earlier this spring. When I say we, Alan True, Greg Smith, and I liked Florida for Raheem Floyd, but he took an official visit to nearby Mizzou last weekend, and the buzz now favors the Tigers. He's slated to visit Florida this weekend, and if he gets on campus, I think they could pivot it back and take pole position again. Spain Park, Alabama edge rusher Marquise Evans is visiting the top schools in the SEC. Florida gets their shot this weekend. Clemson still looks like the leader for safety, Seth Williams. George is in there, but Florida shoots its shot with the Atlanta product this weekend. Florida's got 23 commits right now, Josh. Again, it's the number 5 class in America. They're looking to add to it this weekend, particularly the 5-star kind, Jalen Brewster and Easton Royal.
Let's talk Notre Dame. This weekend and next weekend are highly pivotal weekends when it comes to Notre Dame recruiting and summer recruiting. And this weekend, 5-star edge Abraham Cisse headlines weekend visitors. Steve, this one could be coming to this recruitment could be coming to an end soon.
Well, for everybody, right, Josh?
Yeah, really.
Summer official visits. Abraham Cisse Notre Dame is the program trending for the Pennsylvania standout five-star edge rusher. Saw a game inside Notre Dame Stadium in the fall, returned for spring practice, kind of a solo visit where he got a lot of quality time with new defensive line coach Charlie Partridge. Watched him work with his position room. Love that. He loves Marcus Freeman, the combination of great education and resources along with amazing football development. He loves Coach Freeman's care for the program. Notre Dame is leading. LSU is charging hard. A couple others in play, but I still like the Irish ahead of this official visit.
All right, like we said, pivotal weekend. Greedy James is going to be there. He's a Texas flip target. Who else intrigues you about this weekend's visitors?
Yeah, Greedy James is coming off an LSU visit that really moved the needle, but his trip to South Bend in the spring was one of his favorite trips, so he's excited to get back to Notre Dame and the Golden Dome and all of that. 4-star defensive lineman Braden Parks, 4-star linebacker Roman Igwebuike. They both are from Chicago. Roman Igwebuike is from Mount Carmel. Braden Parks from Brother Rice. Don't sleep on the Irish for both of them. With Braden Parks, it's been a back and forth with Oregon. I think there's a lot of confidence around South Bend that they ultimately land Braden Parks, but Oregon's certainly giving him a lot to think about. Roman likes Indiana. He likes Clemson. But Notre Dame, they've done a great job of developing linebackers. Marcus Freeman, the proximity to home. And Notre Dame's prize 5-star defensive line commit, David Falarunsho, who's also from Chicago, St. Patrick High. He's taking his OV this weekend, so he'll be around his Windy City buddies, helping them feel comfortable with the future with the Irish. Another 4-star defensive lineman visits this weekend, Tyler Alexander. Chad Simmons and I have him predicted to Colorado. He's had a great visit to Georgia. Texas is involved. We'll see what happens with Notre Dame this weekend as they look to have there was the number 2 class in the country last year. It's number 6 right now. And Notre Dame, we've seen some schools come out the gate hot this summer, Josh, with big weekends. The first 2 weekends, now we're on weekend number 3. This is Notre Dame's time. Notre Dame's lined their visits up for the 3rd and 4th weekends of the summer, and we'll see if that was the right move for them as they host elite players this weekend, and it's an even stronger list next weekend.
Yeah, and they're gunning for a potential, like you said, back-to-back top 3 classes for Notre Dame. If you thought last year was just, Marcus Freeman finally has this program recruiting the way that he wants it to, so let's talk about
if they land Josh, Marcus Spacatui, Caden Henderson, number 1 linebacker in the country, Albert Simeon, Abraham Cisse, Braden Parks, and Roman Igwebuike. I would, and honestly, that's realistic. It's not. They're not going to go 6 for 6, but they're not a long shot in any of those recruitments.
Right.
It's another top 3 class, I would think.
Very well could be inside that top 3. All right. Next weekend, we said it's pivotal. What type of players are going to be on campus? What kind of weekend are we looking at when Notre Dame wraps it all up?
Well, Notre Dame has led at times of the process of Marcus Spacatui, the 5-star from Sierra Canyon. He's taking like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday official visit. Ohio State is the program that we've been projecting, Adam Gorney and other colleagues and I. But Notre Dame has led, and they get the last visit. Then you have number 1 linebacker Caden Henderson was at A&M last weekend. I think Notre Dame's the biggest challenger. He had an amazing visit in the spring, really fits in with the program, the players on the team, loves what Notre Dame offers on and off the field. And I think the Irish are on the gas from an NIL perspective with Caden Henderson as well. And then you got 5-star offensive lineman Albert Simeon. I also think Notre Dame's the biggest challenger to Texas A&M for him. And when he takes his OV next weekend, Josh, all of Notre Dame's offensive line commits are going to be taking their OVs as well. And Albert Simeon really fits in at Notre Dame. Strong Catholic faith, strong academic beliefs, track record of offensive line development. I think A&M's the one to beat, but I think he's got genuine interest in Notre Dame, and we'll see who Notre Dame closes over these next 14 days.
Yeah, and we'll be talking all about this on Monday's Wiltfong Whip Round, so Notre Dame fans, make sure you guys are subscribed. Let's talk Michigan, Steve, because this weekend, the number 2 ranked corner in America, Joshua Dobson, it's official visit time. The North Carolina standout will be up in Ann Arbor. Where do you think the Wolverines stand in this recruitment?
Biggest challenger to Texas A&M. I feel like that's something we've been saying a lot this cycle is A&M has been in it for all the elite players. But Michigan has come on strong since the spring for Joshua Dobson. They got him on campus. He replaces the LSU with Michigan on the official visit itinerary. And this is a very much anticipated visit. And I talked to Joshua Dobson about Michigan recently, and he said it's everything as far as the school, everything Michigan presents itself as, the new head coach, the coaches, the high energy around this staff. He goes, I know he's going to win at Michigan. The academics and the alumni, the life after football, it's a real 40-year plan. So Michigan checks a lot of boxes for Joshua Dobson. He's excited to get back this weekend. And Michigan's really only expecting 2 official visitors this weekend. So while he was at Texas A&M last weekend with a lot of elite prospects, it's just him and Ty Kennedy, an offensive lineman from Arizona this weekend, expected in Ann Arbor. So Kyle Whittingham and this entire staff can be able to zero in on Joshua Dobson and his camp and continue to make him feel comfortable in Ann Arbor. Michigan's got the number 10 class in the country, Joshua, and they are in on some big-time guys moving forward.
So when it comes to Dobson's recruitment, do you feel like we're, like you said, I know a lot of these guys are coming to an end of their recruitment, but what does Dobson have in terms of visits remaining?
Well, he's still got South Carolina at the end, and we've all seen South Carolina close strong, particularly on local recruits, so we're not sleeping on the Gamecocks. And I think they would need to make a move. They're June 19th. It's Michigan this weekend, and then it's decision time in July for Joshua Dobson.
Last weekend, Michigan had a good group of visitors on campus. What intel did you get out of that?
Well, 4-star defensive lineman Seth Tillman is someone I had trending to Georgia coming out of his Bulldogs official visit prior to Michigan. I didn't even know if he was going to take the Michigan trip, but Michigan was able to get him on campus, and they blew him away again. And I think that the pulse is now with them going into his Clemson visit. Lincoln Maggio is an offensive lineman from Oceanside High in California. A bunch of my colleagues have predicted him to Michigan. The intel certainly favors the maize and blue for him.
Steve, it looks like Michigan is going to go out with a bang. What are we looking at for next weekend's slate of official visits?
Well, a bunch of their commits will be back on campus, kind of celebrating their pledge to the Wolverines and getting that visit in before they go get ready for their senior seasons and beyond. Michigan's obviously hoping to get Dakota Grant on campus. I think he is a heavy lean to the Oregon Ducks right now. Montana Torbert, one of the most coveted corners in the country, former Indiana commit. He's at Ohio State this weekend. He's going to be at Michigan next weekend. I think the Wolverines are just hoping to survive this Ohio State visit and then get them on campus next weekend. There'll be some other guys that we'll want to run down regarding Michigan next weekend, guys like receiver Damani Warren, but it starts with Torbert and Grant.
Let's talk Ohio State, Steve. 4 visitors on campus in Columbus, but the headliner says it all. Number 1 wide receiver Monshun Sales is taking his trip to Ohio State this weekend. The Buckeyes seem like they got a little bit of ground to make up. How do you see things shaking out right now with Monshun Sales?
Yeah, I think Ohio State's been one of the front runners for his process the entire cycle. Before we dive into this weekend, I need to fix a correction from the show the other day. I said that Ohio State was trending for Zayden Gamble coming out of his visit to Ohio State last weekend out of St. Thomas Aquinas. Zayden Gamble's committed to Notre Dame. They are trending for his teammate Jaden Carey. I think most people understood that, but certainly always questions on passionate football fans message board. So Jaden Carey, I like where Ohio State stands there. We'll see what happens with Monshun Sales, number 1 receiver in the Rivals industry rankings. He loves Coach Hankton, loves Ohio State's track record of receiver development, high-profile offenses. Him and Jameer Brown are buddies, one of the jewels of the Buckeyes class, and he's very comfortable around this program. It's close to home. Indiana and Alabama have done a great job to date in this recruitment. My predictions on the Hoosiers, but it's Ohio State serve. Then he's going to Texas, might fit in LSU, not expected to decide until after his OVs.
All right, Steve, who else? Who are the other 3 names in Columbus this weekend?
Well, the number 5 interior offensive lineman in the country, Caden Moss, has always spoke highly of Ohio State. The predictions on Ole Miss, he's been out to Oregon. Kentucky's in the thick of it. But Ohio State, he spoke highly of them at the Under Armour All-America game and has doubled and tripled down on that from Tyler Bowen, offensive line coach's track record of development. them being a powerhouse program every year. And if you want to be coached by elite coaches and play in an NFL system and be around an NFL environment, that's what you're getting out of Ohio State. So they're going to continue to put their best foot forward as they battle Ole Miss. Montana Torbert's the number 10 corner in the Rivals 300. He's from Cincinnati. He was committed to Indiana. He's reopened his process. It looks like it's coming down to Ohio State and Michigan. The Buckeyes are looking to get this thing wrapped up so he doesn't even take the Michigan visit next weekend. And another in-state corner, 4-star Deontay Malone, is visiting Ohio State this weekend. I have the Buckeyes predicted there. They're working to get it to the finish line as they battle Pitt, Michigan State, and others.